Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Sitting out here enjoying nature. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I hope this day finds everybody well in all your ways. And just wanted to come share a video of my thoughts and feelings and experiences as I'm journeying in this thing called life. Spiritual creatures experiencing being human. As I look over my life and what I have experienced as a person experiencing being human, I realize, and it's just my experience, nobody taught masses how to love. And that's what's missing in this world, love. Everything was taught directly and indirectly. And I was thinking about relationships and how did we get to the point that a man and a woman are in constant opposition. They're demanding things, they're wanting things from the other person, which means that they don't have it in themselves, because if you have it, you should be okay with you. And I was looking over how did we get here when we are in opposition. We were created for each other. There's no doubt about it, because without a man and a woman coming together in unity, we cannot replicate each other, because when we have children, there is a replications of ourselves in those children that we produce when we interact, man and woman. We're recreating ourselves through the children. And so I was thinking out loud, how did we get here? And of course, I listen to my higher mind, my spirit within, that gives me these things. And that's one of the things we don't do. We don't connect with ourselves to be in the moment and just sit with our thoughts, sit with our feelings, and pay attention to what we have experienced in this life. I'm thinking back over our lives, the template. A template is something that is set up by someone um, to replicate a certain thing. And so the template for relationship was, back in the day, as far as I can remember of my 56 years here, the man goes to work and the woman stays home. There even was this saying, a man, a man works while the woman stays home barefoot and pregnant. And so we have to understand everything that we learn, it goes into our subconscious and unconscious mind. You cannot unhear, you cannot unsee, you can't unlearn unless you learn something new. And that's where I am right now in speaking about templates in the relationship and where we are as a people in these times. Life is asking us to change words unconsciously, spiritually, because the man is making the money and she is home, okay? So this is where our arguing and our position and the going back and forth with each other about how much a man has to make, how much a woman has to make, and how much someone should have, because of that template that a man went to work and a woman stayed at home. We failing to understand that relationship means just that. We are relating to someone other than ourselves. We're looking to find someone to balance us out to reach a status, a goal, even like you say, to come together to make children. Who do we want to mate with to replicate ourselves? And what the program has been from our dark aspect of ourselves is selfishness. We all have taken on the self spirit from somewhere. I cannot tell you where it came from, but that spirit came from somewhere in someone's conscious mind who created, I'm going to do something for me and only me. And once people saw that, then this is how things start repeating itself. So in relationships back in the day, the man was making the money, and then they had to struggle to stretch this money when they could turn together. You understand? And both people could have worked. This is about togetherness, you see. A relationship is two people, a family, the children, everybody working together. And even on jobs, even in the church, even in the school, that's a relationship as well. We have taken on this spirit of overpower spirit, you see, where one is dictating and not teaching. It is about empowering one another to be their best self, and that's not happening. Our template has to change in order for us to feel, see, hear the vibration of love for one another. We fail to understand that we all come from one source. We all are having an experience, and it takes all of us to do this together to make it work for all of us. So the only way it could work for all of us is if all of us are do the same thing. Because if you're doing something separate from me, then this is the opposition, you see. So we have to come to the middle ground to find something that works for everyone that is. And when it comes to relationship, people are asking things of other people that they may not have the ability to give them. And so that makes stipulations be in a relationship, you see, and that makes relationship comes with conditions. And there is no perfect person. Because if we had this spirit of perfection, we would not be here, because this planet is here to teach us how to be human. So again, we're all here to learn. And the only way we can learn is by using love. And that's one of the things I've experienced so much. I came up in a family that did not know how to love. And I came with an abundance of love, a deep level of people. But when you drain a person constantly and just drain them, then their cup becomes empty and there is no love to give. So we have to always make sure our cup runs over. And in order to get that, then we have to have time for self. And this is another thing. You know, the man goes to work and the woman stays home. So then all of the burden of the home responsibility has been put on the woman. So when a man comes home, this is the template that we all have learned. He doesn't have any more responsibility. And we have to look at what we have allowed in our lives to dictate, you see. So all we have to do is change templates, change patterns, change programmings, and change pathologies. There is no law that says we have to do anything the way that doesn't work for the good of everybody involved. We have to do things that works for everyone involved. And this is why the world is experiencing so much controversy, chaos, and opposition. No one is understanding. We all have to be here until our time is up here. And so if we all have to be here, we must at all times do what works for the good of everybody involved. I'm on a little journey hiatus right now, and this that I am in this Airbnb, I've experienced so much about just being here and not saying anything. There are three men that are here. One is the owner, and two are others that are sharing the Airbnb. And I've just had the opportunity to just enjoy nature, being outside, not spinning around chasing my tail in the world. And one of the things is we have to understand nothing in this world is for us to keep, you see. And so we have to understand, why are we spinning around wasting our life force energy for things that we don't get to keep. And I've learned they all are just spending. One is away from his wife. He don't get to go home until 2025. And I think he go home twice a year, if that much. Once or twice a year, he told me. And the other one, he goes home every week. But by the time he go home on a Friday and got to be back Monday, it's not even worth it because I think he lives in Pennsylvania. And we in a different state from Pennsylvania. And we're not even realizing. I mean, I'm hoping that they see. I'm sitting here, honey, and I'm just enjoying one moment at a time because that's all we have is the moment. We don't have no promise to nothing to keep spinning around chasing our tails and accumulating things. We don't know when the sun is going to go down. And I just not had an experience. Shit, somebody hacked my debit card, and I don't even have access to no finances or anything. I'm not letting anything rob me of my peace within because it's not even worth it. That means don't spend, but we don't look at life like that. When life is making us uncomfortable, we're not looking at what life is teaching us, and I think that's what the problem is. We're understanding that we're here to grow and evolve. We're here to learn how to be brighter souls, to shine light. You get what I'm saying? We're not here to just spin. But in this relationship here, I'm here to show them that the thing that is important to them, they're not with. This man is not with his wife. One is not, he's not with his family. He just goes home for a couple of days. So we put each other on the back burner. And then the owner of this home, he's a caterer. He's always gone. He always spinning. And he's never having a moment for himself, time for himself. So I'm hoping that they realize that if I was able to be here, the time frame that I was here, and didn't have a worry in the world, wasn't stressing or anything, that they're well capable of doing it as well. But it comes with a price. And the price is not to be attached to the people, places, and things that robs us of peace, joy, and connection with another. You see, they're robbing the family, the wife, themselves of quality time for something outside of themselves. You see, the caterer is running around, so he's depriving himself of me time. The relationship fella is robbing his wife of quality time, chasing the money. And then the man, who is a husband and a father, is robbing his time, quality time with his family for the things of the world. And the bottom line is, I mean, if a man don't work, he don't eat. But there are so many simple ways. There are so many ways that we can live a simple life. But we have been programmed, from someone who created, I want more. You see, someone created that. We all are created to be creative. And we're creating these things in our conscience. You see, this is where all of this comes from. We are creators. We are created to be creative. And so we've created these things that we're experiencing in the spirit, you see. So we have to look at what we're doing that is hurting us as a collective of people, because we are all from one source, you see. We are all from the same one source. And we're hurting each other and not aware that we're hurting each other. Families hurting each other. It's just so much hurt that we are inflicting and projecting onto each other. I could go in every department of our lives. We're being hurt, in every department because of the selfish spirit. Even the judicial system. Who is anybody? And I don't know why the spirit said to go there. Who is anybody to say who is the judge and jury over someone doing time in a cage as if they are an animal? You see, people learn, but instead of putting something set up where people can learn from the mistake, that they just have where people can be chastised as if they are God from the mistake. Locking a person up in a cage, you understand, that's not learning anything. That is overpowering a person in the church system. If we're not going to teach people to find the God inside of them, to connect with everything that God created, then we are hurting the people by saying, I have the answers. You see, once you find out how to connect with God, which is within yourself and everything, that person doesn't need to teach you anymore. You're supposed to go and teach someone else. in a family relationship. There's always going to be someone stronger. There's going to be someone. We are supposed to teach each other, you see, where we are weak. But instead, families program to prey on the weak. You see, pick on the weak in relationships. This programming of a man has more power, a man needs more respect, a man wears the pants and what you can put on and what you can't put on, and all of this. These are templates. Templates. We are here to be free to be whom we choose to be in this lifetime, as long as it does not hurt another person. Being free, you see. And we have to look at ourselves. When we realize it starts with the man in the mirror and being the person that you want to see in the world, that's when we're going to start changing. But if we continue to point the fingers and project ourselves onto someone else and not look at our pain, it is about sitting with our pain. A lot of men have a lot of pain. A lot of women have a lot of pain within themselves. And that pain is in our unconscious, subconscious mind. It is in our emotional body. And out of there by sitting with it, because life will challenge you to take it out of there. When it makes you uncomfortable, it is asking you to grow. And until we realize that everything that we experience in this life is a life lesson. Everything that we experience, good and bad, it is a lot of things. And so I have been on this journey. I've tried to have the utmost respect for this space because I know it is not mine. And every time this man has tried to come at me in a way that was not working for the good of all of us, he has gotten karma back instantly, and he cannot even see it. I mean, I saw it. I didn't have to throw it in his face, but I'm spiritually connected. And I could see what and how he coming at me, you see, based on he needs to be in control. You see, when he has no control, he's not in control of anything. If we all were in control, none of us would experience anything that we did not desire as beautiful, pleasant, happy, and joyful. You see? So we don't have in this because we're here to being human. So if we don't experience being human, then what is the purpose? Everybody knows how to go on a job and work a job to get a paycheck. You see what I'm saying? But what you do with it, you see, you're giving the job your life force energy for the job to give you something. What are you going to do with it? Then you're going to go back and put it back into the world, which depletes your energy. You see, we don't want to live a simple life. And this is why all of this is here. All of these buildings that's being built. You see, and I understand it is to create jobs, but if we would learn to have less, we would not need all of these jobs because we would be spending quality time with each other, learning from each other, and loving each other. But we can't love each other because everybody out there spending on a job. You see, I'm not working. I'm learning to live with less. And that's what it's about, living your life, things, living your life through peace, you see, calm, no worries, no doubts. It is what it is because what's going to be is going to be. So we have to start looking at this template that we have been given as a masses of people, that a man is supposed to work while a woman stays home and pregnant. And so that template is in our unconscious mind. It is there. We have saw this for generation after generation after generation. And we need to look at that, you see, because we keep repeating that unconsciously when we get in relationship. The man thinks that he's supposed to control a woman, dominate a woman, suppress a woman, and the woman thinks she's supposed to stay small. And we have to change that. There is no small and big in a man and a woman. We are all equal. We are all from the same source. There's supposed to be respect both ways, reciprocity, equal give and take. There's not supposed to be one doing more than the other and he's supposed to make X amount while you make this amount. No, whatever you can do, you can do. And whatever you both do, you put it together to work for the both of you. It's the way it's supposed to go. It's no such thing as he's supposed to have a job that pay X amount and yours, this, that. Whatever your qualities are, you see, whatever you're gifted and to do, and do it with morals, values, and ethics is what's going to determine what you're going to be paid, you see. And then you take that and you use it in your family foundation, your relationship, your household, and you make it work for everyone. A lot of times parents, they make money, they spend it on themselves and they neglect the children. They give the children the bits and the pieces. You see what I'm saying? It should never be that way. It is supposed to be for everyone. You see? And this is how we are losing. That's why we're not winning. Because someone always feels as if they have to have more than someone else. And that's because something is missing within a person, that they need to have more than someone else. Something is missing. Everyone should have the same amount because we are all equal. We are all spiritual creatures experiencing being human. So again, we need to look at these templates. We need to look at the patterns, the programs, and the pathologies that we, as a people, we doing this to ourselves. Nobody's making us do anything that we don't want to do. You see, because when you have had enough of a person, you draw the line in the sand and you stop it. You see, so once we start knowing ourselves and what we can do better and make ourselves bigger, then we project that into the world, being bigger, better, and brighter. But if we don't never look at our pain, if we don't look at the patterns, programs, and the templates that we have learned, that we constantly see does not work, then we're never going to get anything changed, because we don't want to look at what does not want to work. We want to keep arguing and be in opposition, because to be in opposition means to not look at yourself. Arguing means I'm not looking at myself. So when life makes us uncomfortable, we're supposed to look at ourselves. And to be in a relationship, you have to learn to be okay with the person you're in a relationship with, and you have to accept the fact that person is not perfect. Will never be perfect, because there is no perfect person. Because that's why we're here, to grow and evolve. So again, I just came to share that was on my mind, that was on my heart and spirit, about templates and why relationships are not working, because of what we have been taught indirectly. We've been taught these things. Thing is to sit down and see with what you are working with. Is it working for everybody involved? Because if it's not, this is where the problem comes from. Problem comes from things that does not work together. The problem comes when there is chaos and there's opposition. So if there is a problem, we have to look at where it is coming from, the root cause of the problem. And the problem is nobody knows how to love unconditionally, because they don't love themselves. God is within us. The life force energy of source is in us. It's not outside of us, but outside of us connects to everything. That's source. But we cannot exist without source life force energy in us. And that energy connects with energy outside of us. So the energy outside of us will make the energy inside of us uncomfortable. And this is where we learn the life lessons. If I'm uncomfortable inside of me, it's coming from something outside of me. So I have to look at what it is that I'm experiencing in that moment, with whoever it is, where it is, why it is, how it is, to understand what life wants me or you, anybody, to learn. We need to change the template in relationships. That is imperative, to change the template in relationships. There's no such thing as a man supposed to go to work and a woman supposed to stay home and barefoot and pregnant. Because if this man goes to work and she home barefoot and pregnant, if this man dies, this woman does not know how to go out there in that work world, because she home barefoot and pregnant, and vice versa. If this woman working, this man die, he don't know how to do what he got to do. So we are supposed to be empowering each other, or we are supposed to be having an understanding. If I'm no longer here, are you going to be able to continue on? You see, we're not teaching that. We're sucking the life force energy out of each other. So we're signaling to the universe, take them from me. I want everything out of them. If you want everything out of them, then they can't exist without the life force energy, because we need energy to survive. So we need to look at what we're doing, people. We need to look at what we're doing. And that's what I wanted to come talk about. The template. We're teaching these things to our children directly and indirectly, our behaviors, the words that we say, the actions that we do. As a matter of fact, I spoke to my grandkids. Nobody called me for Christmas. And not that it matters because I don't celebrate Christmas anymore because um, for whatever reason, I don't. And I said to them, when I did speak to them, I said, just because I don't celebrate Christmas does not mean you could not have thought about me on Christmas, you see. See, it's not about, we have been programmed to not to think about each other. You see, it's all about what you can get from this situation, what you can get from this person. So because I'm not celebrating a holiday that I don't believe in anymore, does not prevent them from thinking about me. If they celebrate a holiday that's supposed to be a happy day, so happy people do happy things. So again, the unconscious mind needs to be reprogrammed. And that's what we're not. We need to look at our conscious and unconscious, subconscious behaviors. We've been programmed to do things and we've been for so long. And until we start looking at what we are doing, we're going to continue to repeat these cycles, repeat these patterns, repeat these programmings, and anything that doesn't line up with peace, love, and harmony, it will of here. Because we have to shift this world into a vibration that works for the good of everyone. We cannot continue to hurt each other and expect to live in a world that's harmonic. The love has to override everything. Our feelings, our thoughts, our things, our job. Love has to override because that's what source is. Love. And you get what I'm saying? So we have to look at what we're doing. I thought I was on my thing. I can't go live. They restricted me on Facebook, but I saw what they could have meant from what I posted, which was a picture of when people in slavery were experiencing horror of being hung and cut and mutilated. And I wanted us to see how we are not those people anymore and that we carry that spirit, you see. And until we conquer fears, that spirit continues to come back because there's a dark force that set up portals, you see. And when we leave out of here, we're not journeying on to experience ourselves more by raising our vibration. We are being looped into a different dimension, you see, that blocks us and makes us come back and repeat the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Once you raise your vibration and your conscious awareness of all there is and the connection to all there is, you just go to another dimension, experiencing more things as the same person, you see, but in a higher vibration. So if you're in a lower vibration, which is your bestiality, your carnal nature, you see, you're going to keep experiencing those type of things. But the more you raise your vibration to love like I am, it's nothing for you to be home and not be on somebody's jobs and not worry about how you're going to meet your quotas because you don't want the things. Because when it's time for you to have what you need, the universe will line up an experience for you to have that thing, you see. But if you in this low, I gotta survive, oh, I can't meet my, then this is where you stay at, spinning, you see. I don't want a lot. I want what I need to be here to learn my life lessons. So this is how you can get away with not being on somebody's job for a period of time and not have to worry about it and lose sleep about it, you see, and beg nobody to help you. But when the time comes when I need help, this is where the love is supposed to come in because I need it. I don't want it. I'm learning to do with less. So we have to look at how we're thinking because we have been programmed to think certain ways. And we're not been programmed to think outside of the box. I don't know why my nose itching. But that's what I wanted to come bring. We need to change the template in relationships so that we can teach each other. We can relate to each other and we can find things that works for everybody that's involved in that relationship. You understand what I'm saying? It has to work for everyone. It's just not some people it gets to work for and not others, when everybody in that relationship, in that template, has to be together to learn something from each other. So that's food for thought, and I just wanted to come chit chat with a little bit that, and hope this helps someone who is in something that is not working. That template is not working for you. It is not about pointing the fingers at anyone. It is about looking at yourself and looking at what you have learned in your life, in your experiences, in your upbringing, and changing that template. That's what it's about. Changing. If we don't change, we can't grow. And if we don't grow, we're not really living. We just taking up space. That's not serving for a higher purpose. Our purpose is to raise the vibration. Our purpose is to spread love. Our purpose is to be love. Love is the only thing that exists, because we all got here from our perception of love. We interacted, a man and a woman, because of lust love, love, you see what I'm saying? Selfish love, unconditional love, conditioned love. It was because two people got together and shared energy, and that energy is God. That vibration was God. Because in the moment of making love, people are not fighting. They're not cussing. They're not dominating. They're not overpowering. They are connecting. Yes? Even if it's briefly, they're connecting. So that is the answer. Connection. Be the person that you want to see in this world. Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. And just spread love. That's it. Love is the answer. That's going to get on out. I love y'all. Namaste.